Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome to this week's Health Hub show. My name is Esther Nakkazi. I'm a freelance science journalist. I'm also the team leader at the Health Journalists Network, which is made up of a group of journalists who are very professional, and they are found in different media houses around the country. Today at the Health Hub here, we are going to discuss about HIV cure. We all know that we have HIV as a disease for decades, and there is no cure yet. There are efforts to find a cure for HIV, and some of these efforts are happening in this country, Uganda. There is a lot of research that is happening in different organizations, research organizations around the country, and they are looking for a cure for HIV. This week, we are going to speak to Dr. Betty Mwesigwa. She is the Deputy Director at the Makerere University Walter Reed Project, which is also called MURAP. At this institution, research institution, they're trying to come up with some ways in which to keep the HIV in somebody's system without making him sick, or to bring it out and give it medicine so it is out of the system. But let's hear again from Dr. Betty Mwesigwa. What are they doing at MURAP? What are the efforts to put out a cure? And how soon will we have this cure that is available, that is coming on course?
You're on your medication, you become undetectable. Then we take you off as we give you the trial intervention. So like Dr. Mirembe has explained, these are very controlled trials, very controlled. We see our participants from the very beginning. We ensure you have ebisanyizo, you have the requirements to join the study. Then after you have joined the study, we follow you up very, very closely, using a protocol that is already set. We don't, all of us have to be doing exactly the same thing. For every single person we see, it has to be exactly the same thing. So whether I am the doctor that day or she's the doctor that day seeing any of the participants, we do exactly what we're supposed to do, the same way. So we follow them up very, very closely. Like we said, one of the intentions is to see if we take you off your medication, how long does it take before any of the sleeping viruses come up? After we've given you our new intervention, which we are actually thinking should be keeping the virus at bay. You get it? Do you understand? So we are giving you this new intervention, taking away the antiretroviral therapy. We want to see if this new intervention will actually do the job of making this virus sleep forever. So if the virus starts to come up, we start to get the sense that this is not going to work. But how long does it take? Does it take 1 month? Does it take 6 months? Does it take 2 years? We don't know. But for us, we're following up people quickly, so we will be able to detect as soon as the virus starts to come up. And as soon as the virus starts to come up, the protocol we have written should be telling us exactly what to do for a person whose virus comes up. Do we immediately start the antiretroviral therapy again? Or do we give them broadly neutralizing antibodies at that point in time? What do we do? We will have set all that up in time. Or do we wait a little longer and then give them at a certain point in time? But we'll be monitoring them very, very closely. When we are doing these studies, we are very, very careful about the safety of the people that are participating. Safety first. So if you realize that whatever is going to happen next is not safe for the participant, you need to tell them, you need to stop, you cannot just continue. You must stop. And we teach them all these things before they actually take part. So we will be following up. It is in that follow-up period that will make sure nobody regresses to worse than they were before they joined the study. Singa tetulina suubi nga banna science, singa emirimu gye tukola tetugikola, kubanga akawuka kaluddewo. Buli muntu yali alowooza nti eddagala erikagema oba eddagala erikulungi tugenda lifuna mu biseera ebitono ennyo nga kakazuulibwa. Naye ffe tusigaza essuubi era tugamba buli muntu nti tetugenda kuggwamu ssuubi, abantu baleme kuggwamu ssuubi. Naye kye tutasobola kukola ssaawa eno kwe kubabuulira nti tugenda difuna mu bbanga weeriti, kubanga emitendera mingi nnyo gye tulina okuyitamu. Naye ffe essuubi tetugenda diggwamu, kubanga oluggwamu essuubi kitegeeza tetulina kye tukola. Okunoonyereza kutwala ebbanga ddene. Ng'omusawo ono bwe yabadde annyonnyodde mu kusooka, emitendera gy'okuyitamu mingi. Oyinza n'okweza emyaka 10 oba okusukkamu, tetumanyi. Kinaasinziira kiseera ki bwe tufunidde ekituufu. Naye kitwala ebbanga ddene. Eddagala lyonna litwala ebbanga ddene. Tewali ddagala lye basanga mu kaseera katono nnyo okuggyako COVID. Okuviirako COVID nga bwe yali, naye atuyigiriza bingi nnyo, so tusuubira nti bwe tukozesa bye baakozesa tuyinza okwangwa. Naye olw'okuba obuwuka bwe tugolagana nawo bwanjawulo, tetusobola kugamba nti tujja kukola nga COVID mu myaka emitono ennyo. So omuntu omulamu atalina ye cells ze zikola zitya? What exactly is happening with this person? Njawulo ki gy'olaba n'ono alina akawuka? So we take a few people who are negative for comparison. So eddagala eri okunoonyeza kwe tukola mu kufuna eddagala eriwonya mukenenya, byebyo ebintu ebibiri bye tutunuulira. Amawanga mangi nnyo n'ebitongole bingi nnyo mu nsi ebikola ku kunoonyereza ku ddagala eriyinza okuwonya akawuka ka mukenenya. Ffe ng'Abamakerere University Walter Reed Project tuli bamu ku kibiina ekiyitibwa Hope Collaboratory mu Luganda kitegeeza abantu aba enkizo ez'enjawulo, okumanya okw'enjawulo nga bazze wamu okukolagana okusobola okutuukiriza omulamwa gwe gumu. Omulamwa ogwo gw'okufuna eddagala eriwonya akawuka ka mukenenya. Nga ekigendererwa kyakufuba nga tubajjako tetulina kye tubawa. Naye okugezaako okusoma akawuka mu mubiri keeyisa katya era keekweseewa kafaanana katya okusinziira ku bbanga omuntu ly'amaze ng'alina akawuka. Tubajjako sampolo, omusaayi oba ensanjabavu oba amazzi ku mugongo oba omusaayi. Ne tutunuulira embeera yaako mu bitundu ebyo. Ng'okusoma bwe kugambye oba bwe kulambise, akawuka bwe kamala okuyingira mu mubiri kalina ebifo mwe keekweka. Ne kaba nga eddagala terituukayo ne abasirikale b'omubiri tebasobola kukasangayo. naye nga ko gye kali eyo kebase nti omuntu bw'aba avudde ku ddagala kazuukuka ne kajja ne kakomawo musaayi ne kakola obulabe. Kakati ebyo ebifo mwe tujja sampolo nga ensanjabavu, amazzi ku mugongo, omusaayi, okugezaako okwetegereza kiki ekigenda mu maaso, omuntu ng'ali ku ddagala, omuntu amaze ku ddagala ebbanga eddene, omuntu eyakafuna akawuka ka mukenenya. Kyekyo kye tukola. Omulamwa gwa Hope gwa kulaba nti tufuna engeri gye tusobola okwebasa akawuka kano ne keebakira ddala, ne tukasibirayo eyo gye kali ne kaba nga tekakyasobola kukola ki? Kuzuukuka kukola buwuka bulala. Oba nga tumaze okukebasa ne keebakira ddala, engeri y'okusobola okukasalayo wonna we kali ng'osalako kokka n'okajjayo ng'okozesa technology gwe tuyita gene therapy. N'ogenda n'ofuna we kali wokka w'osala ebirala byonna n'obireka nga biki biringa bwe birina okubeera. Naye nga tumaze okukkiriza nti gye kali kebase tukasibiddeyo. Abantu abalala bakola ebintu ebyenjawulo, okunoonyereza okw'enjawulo. Waliyo abakola abategeka kye tuyita broadly neutralizing antibodies, bo bakwata abasirikale betumanyi nti bayamba kulwanyisa akawuka ne babakolera mu laabu, omuntu ne bamuwa mpiso y'abasirikale ne bamuwa bwimpiso. Neffe tukola block, lock and exercise. Buzibu ki kusomezebwa ki kwe tufuna kusomezebwa ki kwe tufunye mu kugezaako okukola emirimu gy'okunoonyereza ku ddagala erigema akawuka. N'obuvujirizi bwe tufuna okuva e Bulaaya buyamba nnyo naye era tebumala kubanga abantu betufuna kisinziira ku ssente mmeka zetukola ki zetulina. So tetusobola kufuna samples nnyingi nnyo kubanga bya bbeeyi, okunoonyereza kubeera kwa ssente nnyingi nnyo. Ekyo kyekisooka. Ekisibu ekirala nti abasawo abategeera oba abalina exposure ku mirimu gino egy'okunoonyereza ku ddagala eriyinza okugema nabo tetuli bangi nnyo, tetuli bangi. Ate nga tumanyi nti abantu bonna betukolagana nabo babeera n'abasawo baabwe. So bwagenda omusawo n'amubuuza nti kino wali okimanyi nga takimanyi, kitegeeza ayinza okulemwa okwetaba mu kunoonyereza. So kyetugezaako okukola bwe twogera nammwe kati ba journalists ne twogerako n'abasawo, ne tufuna omukisa okwogerako n'abantu. So obuzibu bwe tulina nti twetaaga okusomesa nnyo abantu bonna okutegeera ki kye tukola.
As we heard from Dr. Betty Mwesigwa, those are some of the ways that are being done at MURAP to find a cure for HIV. And let me emphasize this. We do not have a cure for HIV yet in the world. The researchers are doing their very best to find a cure, and there is a lot of research that is ongoing to find a cure. But now let's also listen to hear from Dr. Henry Mugera, who is the head of research at the Joint Clinical Research Center, and he's going to tell us about the gene therapy, a lot of things that are happening at JCRC, as they call it, or Joint Research Center, and the efforts they have are to find a cure for HIV, but also to find a cure for sickle cell. So most of this work is being done on a research basis, but we believe in our researchers because they are good, and we know that they will bring a cure for some of these diseases that have been affecting the world for a long time.
He was very open about it. When it was still there was a lot of myth about it, a lot of denial. Many leaders in the world didn't want to accept it. But we thank him, at least for this, he accepted. And he called upon the right people to fight this disease. And the mandate he gave to JCRC at that time when that clinic was being set up was, we want a cure. So up to now, JCRC has been in existence for about 33 years. Our mandate was to find a cure. We have not yet found it, but we are still looking for it. Now we're also working with our partners like MORAP and others. You'll hear about other partners like Muju and IDI. We are all in this together. We have a lot of synergy. We learn from each other, we advise each other, we hold each other's hand to work towards this cure. Now, why the HIV is not curable, you've heard, this virus is, if you talk about survival instincts, I think it's very good at it. It's very good at survival, at self-preservation. And how it does this is one of the ways that it has beaten us so far to find this cure. What it does, I'm sure it's been talked about, and we'll also talk about what we are going to do, or what we're doing as JCRC together with our colleagues, that once it comes into your body, okay, once you get exposed to you, it integrates in your DNA as it becomes part of you. It enters into the blood, enters into the cell, goes into the mid of your cell, where it's like the heart of the cell itself, where your DNA, ndagabutonde, what we call ndagabutonde in Uganda, it makes itself part of it. So even when you want to fight it, in a way you're going to fight yourself, because it integrates itself with you in your ndagabutonde. It becomes part of your ndagabutonde. As your body is making its own things, because the body needs to produce things, enzymes and other things, proteins, to do its work. In a way, it produces it because it has gone into your system. So that's one of the reasons it's hard to cure it. And of course, I found my colleague here talking about even those reservoirs, where it hides, like the lymph nodes, like the brain cells. And the way they were created is that I usually give an example of a computer, of a laptop. You can upload and download things from it. You can put files on it. You can remove files from it. Okay? You can. But there are files in that laptop you're not supposed to tamper with. Once you tamper with certain files of a laptop or that computer, you're getting into its operating system. You're going to spoil it. It's not going to work. Okay? So the problem with this virus, it gets into such areas. And the way it was protected, that's why sometimes when you're going to, maybe let me bring it a bit easier, maybe make it a bit easier. There are times when you have a laptop, like a work laptop. There are things you can upload and put on and also remove. But there are some files which you cannot be able to put on that. You need administrative rights, because it may change the working system of that laptop or that computer. And because you don't have those rights, you cannot install certain programs on it. Now, also our bodies were created in such a way, if I put it in a simplistic way, that there are things where the body cannot allow you to enter. Okay? We take these drugs to kill malaria, to kill everything, but there are areas they cannot go. They cannot reach. Because once they get there, you're going to cause a problem to the operating system of your body. And that's by design. That's how God designed us. And the virus found a way of getting there. And it gets there and locks itself up there, in there. Now you take your drugs are not allowed to go there. These drugs actually kill the virus. That's why when you start taking your drugs, your overload may be 1,000 or even 1 million. Okay? Even 5 million per drop of blood, that small drop of blood. You can find 5 million copies of that virus. You start your drugs, it comes down, and within 3 months, 4 months, you clear it. They take your blood, they test, they say your viral load is undetectable. I hope you've heard about that. Why? Because these drugs, the ARVs, they have killed it, cleared it from that blood. But as she mentioned, there are those areas where it has gone, the reservoirs, the drugs are not allowed there. If they could enter there, actually this virus would be curable, very curable. But the drugs cannot enter there. So it's always there waiting and resting. You stop your drugs, some of it come out and multiplies again. So now that's one of the major reasons why we cannot cure it at the moment. But also it changes very quickly. This virus, as I said, it has very good survival mechanisms. It changes. What it was today, next time you're going to come back, it has changed a bit. It looks, you're looking for James, next time it comes back, it looks like Jimmy, you know? And then you're not sure whether that's the right person. Even the body gets confused sometimes. As she mentioned, the body produces these antibodies to fight. Whenever a new thing comes into your body that is foreign, the body tries to recognize it, studies it, understands it, goes back into its factory, manufactures something to fight it, specifically for that what it has seen, and then to be able to actively fight it. That's why many diseases actually, they get cured on their own. These drugs we give, even for malaria, even for these bacterial infections, even for viral infections, they just come in to help. Many times the body has a way to self-heal because that's how God created us. Of course, many times may need help when the infections are hard. But the problem with this virus that every time the body tries to manufacture things to fight back, by the time it has finished manufacturing that, the virus has changed a bit. So the weapon it has made, they are no longer effective against it. Okay? So because of those many things about that virus, it makes it very, very elusive. And so, even when, as we try to manage it, as we try to cure it, we have to come from many ways to tackle it, to be able to fight it. Okay? It's the same way, even for the ARVs, when you use only one ARV, in a few months, it's going to become ineffective because it changes. The only way we've been able to be successful with the ARVs is to combine them, because you hit it from different angles, and somewhere it gets confused a bit, and it's not able to become resistant. So even when you see those people taking one pill, one tablet, that tablet has actually, many of them have 3 drugs in it, 3, and those 3 drugs work differently. We say they have different mechanisms of action. When one is holding its neck, the other one pulls its chest. The other one is attacking from the back. Others, if they all are coming from the back, it will learn very quickly on how to manage it, or how to avoid those drugs. So now we learn from how it behaves to try to find a way of how to fight back better. Okay? In blood, we have conquered it with the ARVs. That's why people can live very comfortably for many years on ARVs, but they have to take them daily. Because every time they stop, remember the other virus, which is in the areas that we cannot reach, keeps coming out and checks. If there's no drug in the blood, it will multiply very quickly. So in the blood, that war we have won it, but it's not. It's like a battle, like you win a battle, but you've not won the war. Okay. Now, how do we win the war? If we can eradicate, either we eradicate it completely out of the body, or we silence it completely. It may be there, but you make it ineffective completely. Yeah. So she has talked about already. One of the ways we want to do that is, can you bring it out of the DNA? That DNA where it has integrated, it has become part of your DNA. Okay. So those are some of the ways we have. A lot of engineering has been done, by the way, amazing things. In that now there are ways you can go and target within your DNA, someone's DNA, and target certain areas. Exactly, because you don't want to cut out your own DNA. You want to cut out only the one of the virus. Yes, so you have to be able to identify exactly what area it is and cut. So there are mechanisms to do that. Okay? Cut it out, keep removing it from all those areas, and because we said in the blood you can treat it easily with the ARVs and it will die off. Now once you do that, you'll be able to cure it. Other ways, if you cannot do that, maybe entice it out. Some of those hiding areas, can you entice it out to come out? Whichever way you're going to make it, how do you attract it out to the area where you can fight it better? Shake that bush where, let it come out, and then you can kill it. But if you cannot, can you lock it there? Okay? If it's in there, okay, be there forever and ever. You lock it there, don't come out. Yes, hold your peace forever. And this person will live comfortably for the rest of their lives. And then Of course, another way we want to be to make sure that for those who don't have it yet, can we be able to prevent them from getting it through vaccinations? We are working on one of the projects. I don't know if you've talked about it, where we are trying to see, can we also, brilliant. Where can we work on vaccine? Because it's a virus. We know we vaccinate people against measles, which is a virus. We vaccinate people against hepatitis B, which is a virus. Why can't we vaccinate people against HIV? Okay? So there have been some challenges there, as I said, because this thing changes very quickly. But also we are following up very closely also, and we have some hope and some headway to be able to maybe to manufacture a vaccine that can prevent someone from acquiring the HIV, and they'll be able to, they may not be able to pass it on. They will not be able to get it from another person who has it. And eventually we believe that if you do that, eventually you'll be able to control the HIV, and perhaps you don't have any more people getting it. Other ways, one of the studies I can talk about, which we did at JCRC, I know my colleagues have gone to, they have told you about some, but they will tell you more about others, is that when this virus, as we said, when it gets into your body, the way you don't get cured is if it gets into those areas that that the blood can, the drugs are not allowed. That's why we do PrEP. PrEP is there's pre-exposure prophylaxis, but there's also what they call post-exposure prophylaxis. I don't know if you've heard about that. Post-exposure prophylaxis. You've been exposed, and then you take the drugs. It's because before that virus runs to get to the hiding place, those places, when you take those drugs very quickly, you chase it down. Okay? Catch it, kill it before it enters there. The post-exposure prophylaxis, that's how it works. But once it gets there, it's sort of a done deal. But some of the studies we are looking at is to see if someone started treatment early also. Because even when it gets in there, it takes it time to build up, to make its fortress strong. So one of the studies we are doing is if someone started treatment early enough, when it has just entered, how does that fortress look like? And how does it expand if someone started treatment early enough? Okay, it has just entered in there, but still if I start treatment quickly enough, will it be able to make that fortress stronger with time? Or that fortress may be there, but may not be as strong, that next time when I go back and mobilize well, and bring the bigger guns, and bring something else, I can be able to entice it more easily to come out and be able to kill it off. So we're part of such studies, just to understanding that fortress. Then also, yes, we know we cannot enter there, but is there a way we can enter there still, very carefully, without destroying things, without tampering with the how your body system is going to work? Okay, because we always don't want to say, it's like the word never. We don't want to use it so much in medicine. When it's not everything is possible. Okay, it's just that we haven't yet found out of how to do some things. Otherwise, you can never say never. So, are we able even to enter there? Though we know we are not allowed to normally, but is it possible to get in there? Very carefully, tiptoeing, and pick this person we are coming for, and get out without displacing other things, and be able to do what? To get this person out, and we take him out and do whatever we want to do with them.
Thank you very much for listening to us at the Health Hub. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. I'm Esther Nakkazi, a journalist, and also the team leader at the Health Journalists Network, which is made up of professional journalists who are spread around media houses in Kampala and in Uganda.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, Real talk.